Hey, what's going on guys? And today's episode I'm going to teach you how to use an airbrush and how to thin your paints. Alright guys, so welcome back to the channel and I hope everybody is doing okay in spite of this surge of pandemic. Now, this video, or shall I say that a tutorial, is requested by a fellow hobbyist who wants to start painting his kits, but he doesn't know how to use airbrush and also to thin. So this video is for you, dude, and also for all the beginners who wants to use airbrush. So let's get it on. So basically I use three airbrushes. This is for a primer from HOBBYWORKZ, but you don't need much guys. The reason I use three because sometimes if I change paints or colors, it will take some time before I proceed. So yeah, the second one is a Moshen Vinci 0.3, my main airbrush. Been using this one for 3 years already and it never failed. And my third brush is for the top coat. So basically I use top coats twice. For the first coat for the panel lining and for the water slide decals, and then the final touch will be the second coat. So yeah, this one also runs very smooth and it's very cheap. We are going to use this paint from Vallejo, Mecha Color Sazabi Red, and also a medium thinner from Vallejo as well. Now I know this is a water base. We can use water, but I prefer to use a hobby grade paint. For this tutorial, we are going to use the main airbrush, not this one. This one, it runs pretty well, but we're gonna use the main airbrush. Okay, so let's begin and set up. So we have a target now, from bigger circle to small circles. Okay, and then before we load paint, make sure that the airbrush running smoothly here from the trigger. Everything's not really tight and not too loose as well. And for the PSI, I usually go for 20 to 25. The reason for this so that I will not gonna overthrow the paints, or the flow of the air from the compressor is not too strong. So yeah, we are going to make a few tests here. So we have this water loading into the airbrush and make it sure that everything's run smoothly. So from here, let's try. Then you can see the airbrush, it's starting to throw the water outside from the nozzle. So if so, let's try to load the paint. So by the way guys, I changed the color into blue. Blue is more visible to the white wall. Now here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, 13 loads of paint. And then the half of that is your thinner. So let's try to check it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's almost a half. This is also one thing I learned from the ancient Chinese technique. So press the nozzle and pull the trigger. The paint and the thinner, it will mix itself. So from here you can see the bubbles. When you see a bubbles, which means the paint is mixing. Okay, so let's try with the bigger circle. Now the reason for this is to make sure your consistency of using the airbrush is there. Since it's a bigger circle, you need to be attentive or pay attention to the distance in between your subject and your airbrush. Since it's a bigger circle, you need to be a little bit distant, like what I'm doing here, filling in the bigger circle. And the color is not that solid because it's big. Now let's try with this second circle. Now it's a bit smaller. So what we're gonna do is go a bit closer. Now my apologies guys, there's a smudges there. It's raining outside and in my air compressor, it's really not cooperating today. It condensed the water, so yeah, that's the result. Okay, so as we can see that the color is a bit solid. Now the smaller circle is now the crucial. You need to be gently pressing or pulling the trigger and filling in that circle. Notice that how the color is more visible than comparing to the two. See, it's very solid and it's very clean, since I already cleaned the moisture trap. So you can see and differentiate from the bigger circle, from the middle, and going to the bottom. The bottom is very solid and clean there. Alright, so there you go. So guys, if this video is very helpful to you, please give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and notification bell as well, so that you won't miss a thing. Now stay tuned for part 2 of this video. It's because I'm going to teach you how to maintain or the maintenance of your airbrush. So until then, see you next time. Bye for now. Peace out.